some of them a sing you a come and shut them down. I told them no, no, me a one business woman. Sister not say she a one in a 3 million. Sister not say she a one in a 3 million. So bam bam, say what a bam bam, bam bam dilong, bam bam, bam bam dilong, bam bam. Say go, sister not say make you go. I tell us if you go, sister not say make you go. I know it from me head straight down to my toe. I teach her down, sister not say and they go. And some of them a ask her sister not say make you bad so. Long down the list, sister not say make you bad so. He bam bam, what a bam bam, he bam bam below, bam bam, he bam bam below, bam bam, what a bam bam, hey, tell me say what a bam bam. This woman, I never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come clean, nice up Jamaican, so bam bam. Say what a bam bam, bam bam dilong, bam bam, bam bam dilong, bam bam. Hey, tell me say one thing, Nancy, if you understand. One thing, the thing called a bam bam. Look what's all Jamaican, with a different style, different fashion, you know? Tell me say one thing, Nancy, if you understand. One thing, Nancy, if you understand. What make them a talk about me ambition? Say what make who them a talk about me ambition? Come and say some of them a ask me where me get it from. Say some of them a ask me where me get it from. I told them no, no, it's from creation. I told them no, no, it's from creation. Bam, bam, hey, what a bam, 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 dilang, bam, 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 dilang, bam, bam, hey, what a bam, bam, what a bam, bam. This woman never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come free nice of Jamaican, so bam, bam. Tawata bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam. Hey, I'm Sawata bam bam, tell me Sawata bam bam. Hey, tell 'em, me born and me grow in a Princeton state. I not see right the Christmas lyrics. When you hear them, you sound like Christy Biscuit. You come in at the place and me say well, slick. Yeah, bam bam, hey. Tawata bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, hey. Tawata bam bam, hey. Tawata bam bam. Now some of them a sing you a come and shut them down. I told them no, no, me a one business woman. Sister not say she a one in a 3 million. Sister not say she a one in a 3 million. So bam bam, say what a bam bam, bam bam dilong, bam bam, bam bam dilong, bam bam. Hey, say go, sister not say make you go. I tell us if you go, sister not say make you go. I know it from me head straight down to my toe. I teach her down, sister not say and they go. And some of them a ask her sister not say make you bad so. Long down the list, sister not say make you bad so. He bam bam, what a bam bam, he bam bam dilong, bam bam, he bam bam dilong, bam bam, what a bam bam, hey, tell me say what a bam bam. This woman, I never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come clean, nice up Jamaican, so bam bam. Say what a bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam. Hey, tell me say one thing, Nancy, if you understand. One thing, the thing called a bam bam. Look what's all Jamaican, with a different style, different fashion, you know? Tell me me say one thing, Nancy can't understand. One thing, Nancy can't understand. What make them a talk about me ambition? Say what make them a talk about me ambition? Come and say some of them a ask me where me get it from. Say some of them a ask me where me get it from. I told them no, it's from creation. I told them no, it's from creation. Bam bam, ayo. What a bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, ay. What a bam bam, what a bam bam. This woman never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come clean, nice of Jamaican. So bam bam. Sawata bam 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 dilang bam 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 dilang bam bam aya hami sawata bam bam hami sawata bam bam aya tell 'em me born and me grow in a Princeton 6. I not see right the Christmas lyrics. When you hear them you sound like Chrissy Biscuit. You come in at the place and me say well slick. Yeah, bam bam aya Sawata bam 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 dilang bam 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 dilang bam bam ay Sawata bam bam ay Sawata bam bam. Now some of them a say you a come and shut them plan. I told them no me a one business woman. Sister not say she a one in a 3 million. Sister not say she a one in a 3 million. So bam bam. Say what a bam 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 dilang bam 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 dilang bam bam ay. Say go sister Nancy make you go. I kill yourself go sister Nancy make you go. I know it from me head straight down to my toe. I teach her down sister Nancy and me go. And some of them a ask for sister Nancy make your body so. Long the list sister Nancy make your body so. Bam bam. What a bam bam, the bam bam dilang, bam bam, the bam bam dilang, bam bam. What a bam bam, hey, tell me say what a bam bam. This woman, I never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come clean, nice of Jamaican, so bam bam. Say what a bam 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 dilang bam 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 dilang bam bam ay tell me say one thing Nancy can't understand. One thing I think I'm a bam bam. Look what's all Jamaican. Little different style, different fashion. You know? Tell me say one thing Nancy can't understand. One thing Nancy can't understand. We are going to get started in just a couple of minutes, so hang tight. I told them no, it's from creation. I told them no, it's from creation. Bam bam, ayo. What a bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, ayo. What a bam bam, what a bam bam. This woman never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come clean, nice of Jamaican. So bam bam, so what a bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam. Hey, I'm so what a bam bam, tell me so what a bam bam. Hey, tell 'em, me born.
Good afternoon, everyone. What's poppin'?
Some of them a say you a come and shut them plan. I told them no me a one business woman. Sister say she a 1 in a 3 million. Sister not say she a 1 in a 3 million. So bam bam, say what a bam bam, bam bam below, bam bam, bam bam below, bam bam.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm really excited about our She Is Me speaker today. I think she's gonna have some awesome words of wisdom, and I think I'm really just excited to hear about her tech career journey. But before we get into the guest speaker today, I'll introduce myself. Welcome everybody who's on. My name is Christina Smith Newton. I am the founder and CEO of Hype. And I just want to spend a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes max, talking about Hype. If anybody is new, if this is your first time attending one of our events, I'll share a little bit about our organization. And then I'll also talk about the program that we have for middle and high school girls and share how you could join the Hype program if it's something that you're interested in after hearing today's presentation. And then we'll have our guest speaker, Tariro Kandemiri, who will be sharing about her career journey. We'll give you all a chance to ask questions. We'll do some Q&A, and then we'll finish it up with some next steps and a reminder to complete a survey that we'll send to all of our attendees today to let us know about your experience. Let us know if there are any recommendations that you have for ways that we can make opportunities and experiences like these even better for girls and more enjoyable for girls like you. So I'm gonna start off with a couple of like icebreakers, and these icebreakers do have rewards for them. So we did this last week as well, and we'll give a couple of girls a chance to, if you want to demonstrate one of our Hype Scholar profiles of courage, by kind of sharing out loud your name, what grade you're in, and why you think computer science is important. And we'll let the first two girls share out, and after today's presentation, we'll get your email, we'll get your address, and we'll send you a Hype shirt. So Jessica, I don't know, do you see anybody in the chat kind of volunteering to share?
Alyssa and Asante. Oh, Destiny. There's a lot of volunteers.
Okay, so who were the first two?
Let's see. I'm not sure if Asante was saying yes to something else or not, but definitely Alyssa.
All right, so Alyssa, we'll let you share first if you want to unmute yourself and share your name, what grade you're in, and why you think computer science is important.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I'm in the 11th grade, and I think computer science is important because not too many females go into this industry, yet it's used every day, whether it's technology based or like medical based, and it's really important for people to know that. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Alyssa. I agree. We do use computers and technology every day in everything that we do. And I'm really excited about helping you guys and helping girls even learn to not just be consumers of technology, but how you can create technology and use it yourself to make your world and the community around you better. So thank you so much, Alyssa. We will follow up with you after this program and get your information. And who was the next person? Was it Asante?
Asante, yes.
My name is Asante. I'm in grade 6, and I think computer science is important because in further years in the future, I feel like technology is going to be a lot more important, and it's going to be a lot more used.
Very true. Thank you, Asante. And the future is now. Like not even in the future, we'll definitely use it a lot more, but the time is now to really engage with it and understand it and begin learning it. And so you said you're in the 6th grade. I think that's a perfect time to, start exploring computer science and, getting some of those key problem solving and critical thinking skills that will help you to become an amazing computer scientist and programmer. So Thank you. So we're going to go and we're going to have a couple of people answer the next question. You can raise your hand if you want to answer this question, but I'm curious, what is one thing that you hope to learn in today's webinar, either from myself or from our guest speaker? All right, so who do we have in the chat? Janaya, I'll go ahead and let you share. What's one thing that you hope to learn in today's webinar?
One thing I hope to learn is how to pursue my own career in computer programming.
Awesome. Do you have an idea of what type of career you want to have, or what industry you want to work in?
I would love to be like a game designer, maybe.
Oh,
I've always been interested in that.
Yeah. I think game design is fun. So, and it's interesting because I know a couple of people who even use game design right now and gaming in general for like companies and corporations, and helping them to create online trainings and just things that their employees have to do, but they use game design and gaming to make like some of those boring trainings and things like that more fun. So I think that's an awesome industry. So that was Janaya. Okay, who else wants to share? The Nakaya, I see your name in the chat. So you can go ahead and share. What's one thing that you hope to learn today?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Well, I would like to learn like certain techniques to build my e-commerce store, because I have my own business and I would like to take it online.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. So you want to learn how to take your business online and do e-commerce. That's business online. All right. So thank you all for sharing. I'm gonna just share a quick overview. I think a lot of you ladies are actually in the HYPE program, the after school program. So you are aware of what it is that we do, but if we have any visitors or any new guests, I'll do a quick overview for them, and then we'll allow our guest speaker to speak. So HYPE's mission is to help Black and Brown girls gain the skills, confidence, and the community that they need to pursue computer science. My degree is in computer engineering, and I come from the tech industry. I worked in tech for 7 years, and I experienced for myself just the feeling of loneliness that comes with being a woman of color in technology. Over the course of 7 years, I never had another Black woman on my tech team over the course of 7 years. And I also never had a female manager. And so we really want to help you all build community so that you know that you have one another. We want to introduce you to other women in technology who can serve as mentors for you. And we also want to give you like skills and confidence so that you can pursue and enter the tech world with knowing that you belong and knowing that you have something to offer. So the reason we want to do this is we have a desire to plug the leaky tech pipeline. And these are just some statistics that exist. Currently, over half of US high schools do not offer computer science. And a majority of the schools that don't offer it are in rural or low-income communities. AP Computer Science has the worst female participation rate of all AP exams that are offered by the College Board. And that's at 4% of female, well, they have the worst in female participation, and only 4% of them are Black females. And then lastly, Black women make up about 2% of computing degree earners, and they are actually leaving tech careers at 3 times the rate of their male counterparts. So on average, Black women leave the technology field after the first 5 years. So we want to use exploration, education, and empowerment to really change these statistics. And so one of the ways that we do this is with our after school program, which is the HYPE Project. The HYPE Project gives girls an opportunity to join a community of supportive peers as well as role models where they learn computer science and they gain computer science skills. They also grow as leaders and they have opportunities through practical and applicable means to demonstrate their ability to use technology to make meaningful contributions to their community as well as the world. Some of the logistics around like how the HYPE Project operates and how it works is it is a virtual after school program. So we're able to support girls across the country, really. Right now we have girls all across Georgia who are participating in our program. One completion of the HYPE Project includes 12 live virtual instruction sessions, and each of those sessions are about an hour and a half long. We support multiple programming languages as well as beginner and intermediate levels, and students complete their HYPE project, the HYPE project, by completing a community impact project where they take something that they're passionate about and they work in teams and in groups to design and create awareness of an issue that they want to address and use technology to solve it. We use project-based learning. We have a virtual program model. We have a diverse platform of role models and spotlights who come in to speak. And then we also have great benefits for students who complete the project and become alumni of our program. Every program and every session contains a few of these different pieces. So we do an icebreaker that's called a connectivity. We do a She Is Me discovery session where we highlight a woman in technology. We have our live instruction and the tutorial where we introduce a new technology concept. And then the girls will work in groups or individually on a project where they apply this new tech concept that they learn for the day into a project or their HYPE community project. And then at the end, we come back and we have a chance to reflect and, respond on, the challenges that we might have overcome in today's lesson, as well as, talk about like announcements and next steps and ways, things that we're going to do for the next session. Our learners methodology include these 5 HYPE Scholar profiles that we really work for students to develop as they go through our program. And so at the beginning of today's session, we asked a couple questions that really fed into a couple of these scholar profiles. We use courage and curiosity today, but the 5 things that we hope for our students to build is courage, creativity, community, curiosity, and celebration. And so we infuse these concepts and these profiles into every lesson. Some of the alumni perks include joining the HYPE Alumni Network, internship and leadership development opportunities, as well as a HYPE International Experience trip where girls get a chance to teach computer science to other students overseas during a 1-week international trip. Studies show that we retain 90% of what we teach. And so this is really our chance of empowering students, giving them significant experiences and opportunities, and really helping them to develop their portfolio, apply for scholarships, and build confidence in what they've learned. And so that's a little bit about HYPE. At the end of our session, we will give you guys a chance to know how you can sign up for our next session if you're not already a part of the program. But I am going to turn it over to our guest that I'm really excited to hear from, Tariro Kandemiri. So Tari is a senior analyst at Accenture, and she's also the founder of Hama Beauty Incorporated. She took her love for technology to, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but Sewanee, which is the University of the South, where she received her bachelor's degree in computer science and a minor in business. So I'm really excited to hear how she infused both computer science and business to start her own startup. She joined Accenture strategy and consulting practice as an intern, and then recently celebrated her 2-year work anniversary with the organization here in Atlanta. And so Tari's tech startup, her beauty tech startup, Hama Beauty, is a platform that uses data science to recommend beauty and skincare products to consumers based on their skin type and their skincare needs. So I think that this is, again, going to be a really exciting and interesting presentation. And so I am going to just go ahead and stop sharing my screen. We do have Tari here. And Tari, I'm not sure if you have a presentation that you want to. If so, you can go ahead and start sharing your screen. But we are happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone. It's great to see your smiling faces. I'm always so happy when I'm in any kind of call or any kind of Zoom. I know it's been such a crazy couple of months, but I'm glad to see your smiling faces. And my mom is here too. Hey, Mom, what's up? I'll give her some shout outs throughout the presentation. But yeah, thank you all so much for having me. You know, as Christina mentioned, I'm currently a strategy and consulting senior analyst at Accenture and also the founder of my own startup, Hama Beauty Incorporated. And my journey has been really, really fun and exciting, and I'm just really excited and thankful to be talking to you all today. So I made a little timeline because as a consultant, there's got to be a timeline somewhere. But I was born in Harare, Zimbabwe, which is in Africa, in Southern Africa, in 1996. And in the 2000s, so I'm sure y'all probably have, like, you know, the really sleek laptops or sleek desktops. You have your phones, your Androids, your iPhones, etc. But we had this big kind of clunky beige Windows computer that I messed with all the time. I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was that if I pressed this thing, I would go to Paint. If I pressed this, I go to PowerPoint, and I could play Minecraft and all these things. And I think I just loved it. You could turn on the computer and do all these different things. I could put all my dad's CDs in there and probably get in trouble for breaking some. But just to see things kind of come alive on the screen was such an enjoyable experience. And I think before, you know, back then I didn't even know really what I was doing. I just knew that we had this thing and I pressed buttons and it did stuff. And, you know, I was allowed to use it here and there. And that's really where my love for computers and technology began. So in 2004, my family emigrated to the United States, to Maryland. So shout out to DMV, to Silver Spring, Maryland. And, you know, a couple of points that you talked about in the introduction, Christina, really struck me. When I moved to the US and, you know, was kind of learning about culture, I really fell in love with the online stuff. So like MySpace, Neopets, all these different websites that I could go that my friends were on. And I discovered how much I loved making web pages. Neopets is a little back in the day, but with MySpace as well, you could customize your page. So I could make everything pink. I could make it blue, make it Disney Channel themed, Cheetah Girls themed. All these different things I loved could be represented online. And it was my thing. I was making it myself and it reflected my personality. And I was doing that, you know, from I think early middle school and going into high school. But one of the things I remember the most is there was a girls in computing after school program in my high school. And I was kind of on the fence about joining. I just, you know, doing computers was my fun thing that I did after school. And, you know, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it at school too, because I was so focused on, you know, IB English and IB this and IB that. And I hadn't really made that connection yet that, oh, okay, like that also could be your job. You can do both. You don't have to just focus on what I considered at the time, the traditional, you know, classes that I was taking. And I remember going to this girls in computing meeting, and I walked by the guys meeting, or boys meeting, as they called it, and they were working with robots. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we're going to do robots. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be so fun. And I walk into the girls in computing meeting, and what they had the girls doing was coding mirrors that lighted up when you did your makeup. So the boys were doing robots, and the girls were doing something makeup related. And at that time, I was not interested in beauty at all, which is so full circle because now I'm like, oh yeah, beauty. But in that moment, that was really my first big experience with how, maybe not intentionally, but there was some kind of gendering that happened within the technology industry that I hadn't really faced before, because I was doing this for fun at home. Like, I was just in my online communities doing my thing, coding up. No one was telling me, oh, you have to do X, Y, Z, or this is what girls are going to be interested in. I was just discovering technology on my own. And I remember going home and telling my mom, like, you know what, I don't really think that's my thing. Like, they were doing mirrors. It doesn't really sound fun. Like, I want to do the robots. And I ended up doing a class that did the robots and learned more about that aspect. So it was really fun. But what I realized was that in itself, that experience was already isolating girls that, or anyone really that, maybe some of the guys wanted to practice building the mirrors and practice with the LED lights and all these things, but I knew I wanted to try the robots too. As cool as the mirrors were, I'd become attached to that idea of, okay, the robot's going to move and I'm going to learn something new. And it kind of felt like already they were trying to tell us like, no, this is what you're supposed to do. So even in sports and in things that I do daily in my life, I always aim to remove that, girls do XYZ thing. That has never been a thing in my household. Like my parents, I have an older sister, and for us, it was like, whatever you're passionate about, go hard at it, do your best, like be the best you can possibly be at that thing, and always be a good person. And that's just what I stick to. So when you mentioned that AP statistics or AP computer science, I didn't even take AP CS. I don't think we had it, or maybe you didn't hear about it, but I'm just glad that, this new wave and all of us are getting more exposed to computer science. So all that to say, going to Sewanee. So I received the Posse Foundation full tuition scholarship to Sewanee, the University of the South in Sewanee, Tennessee. Shout out to Posse. And it was an amazing opportunity. There were 3 rounds of interviews, lots of talking. I had to build a Lego set and all these different things, but I got the opportunity to receive the scholarship and go to Sewanee. And when I got to Sewanee, originally I thought I wanted to do history. My history class had 3 people, and there were 20 books on the reading list. And I was like, you know what? I like to talk. I like people. I like interaction. So I don't know if this is the program for me, but I loved it and, got to continue taking history classes throughout. But one of the requirements at Sewanee was you have to take a couple of different kinds of classes within the general studies to get your degree. And I saw on the list there was I think it was Introduction to Web Design class. And, like I said, I'd been doing this on the side. So sign up for the class. Cool. About to be an easy A. Let's see what's good. Let's do it. And I just loved the class. The professor was awesome. And again, just getting to be creative, build my own thing. And, I think in that class, there may have been a few more women than later on in my computer science journey. But the professor approached me and said, you should consider doing computer science as your major because you're pretty good at this. I was kind of on the fence, did my second class, which was data structures. And that's when that professor became my advisor, and she really inspired me. She had been the chair of the computer science studies, and just was a really awesome woman, had published all these papers, just really inspiring. And I took what she said to heart, that this was something that I was good at, that I understood, that I enjoyed. Every day I showed up to class excited to learn, even if it was a concept that I had never learned before. And suddenly, with that professor, and at that time, I realized my love for building and creating things with technology could be my job. That could be what I could do. I could wake up and make my beautiful web pages and share things with my colleagues. And it just was really awesome that I was able to meet meet multiple people along my journey who helped me discover that this was an opportunity for me. So going into my time at Accenture, so I interned in 2017 as an analyst in the technology practice, and then came back, was offered full-time to return for a full-time offer as a consulting analyst. And what's really awesome about technology and CS is there's so many different ways you can take it. So my friends always laugh when I tell the story, but I interviewed at Amazon. I interviewed for Accenture, interviewed for all these different organizations. And when I interviewed for Amazon, it was during landslides. It was my first time in Cali, and all these things happening. But the different experiences I've had helped me realize that my degree could take me anywhere. You're not boxed into one particular thing. What I realized was, as much as I loved coding and had done all these projects with my classmates, I also loved talking to people. I loved collaborating, and I love business. I minored in business. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit, and I wanted to find a way to do both. So I discovered that consulting was a great way for me to be able to do both things I love, computer science, technology, and business as well. And that's how I landed at Accenture full-time. But you can be a game designer, you can be a program manager, you can be a front-end developer, back-end developer, you can be a professor. There's so many different things that you can do just by understanding technology, database manager, all these amazing careers that are all stemming from being in the CS industry. So I'm sure y'all probably know what the definition of computer science, but so computer science is defined as the study of computers and computing, as well as the theoretical and practical applications. Computer science applies the principles of mathematics, engineering, and logic to a plethora of functions, including algorithm formulation, software and hardware development, and artificial intelligence. How I see computer science is you're putting together a puzzle. So, you know, you get an assignment or you get a project at work and they say, build this page that has all these different requirements, it looks like XYZ. For me, when I open up a blank page in PHP Storm or whatever I'm working in, I'm putting together a puzzle and I have ideas in my head of what that code can look like. And as I write, I move things around, I add things, remove things, all of that. But in my head, it's just a really fun puzzle that I'm building. My CS degree involved taking classes like Introduction to Data Structures, which is learning arrays, linked lists, all the shapes, and discrete math, which involves solving proofs. Definitely difficult and not always my realm, but I had a great professor, learned a lot, and was able to succeed in that class. But what I really loved about the CS degree was being able to learn lots of different aspects of computing. It wasn't just, what I was used to with all my coding, the front end and kind of messing around in different applications. Suddenly I was learning about the back end portion and data structures and database management, SQL, just all these different other components. I was learning how computers are built. And one of my goals this year is to build a computer. So if anyone has built one and wants to let me know where they got the parts, let me know. That would be awesome. But yeah, I got to pick specific electives based on languages and concepts that I enjoyed. So I realized Java was the language that I knew best and latched onto really fast. So I was able to become a tutor for the data structures courses, become a TA. And even now, sometimes I'll tutor students that are taking the data structures class. But again, just took a wide variety of classes and learned a lot about the technology that we use, not just the coding portion, but the hardware portion, and then kind of how it all fits together. And how I applied what I studied. So I think that's always a good question of like, okay, well, how do you apply all the things you're learning in the classroom to the outside world and to your life? So while I was at Sewanee, I launched a startup with some of my classmates, my first one called Sewanee Eats, and we built a food delivery application like Uber Eats or Postmates from scratch. And that experience really helped me confirm that I love being able to do the technical and the business side. I realized I didn't have to choose just one. I could do both. I could do either one that I felt more connected to. So I was able to work on a little bit of the back end, the front end, and the business portion as well with two of my classmates. And then I also worked on different personal projects, including building a storage renting platform for a startup based in Boston. So what I did was just talk to friends, peers, my network, and say, what are you working on? What could I work on? Is there something that I can pick up? And I found ways to thrive in the classroom and then apply that what I was learning outside of the classroom, both for experience and for fun. Something that I feel, at least, and I kind of a little bit of perfectionist sometimes, is I felt, I wasn't doing enough. I always thought, oh man, like I need to go intern at this place and I need to do this thing and that thing. But in all the things that I did, one of my internships was for the Olympics, for the Rio Olympics in Stamford, Connecticut, for NBC Sports. And that was completely outside of computer science and anything, but I just love sports so much that was something I wanted to do. And I knew I had time to also have a technology internship. So as you go about finding opportunities to do projects and intern, don't forget the passions that you have as well. If you can sneak in something in there that you enjoy and that will kind of, make you like well-rounded as you continue to pursue your passions. I always say that's a great idea to do. And my time in Stanford really influenced and, helped my people skills, helped me be more passionate about what I was working on, and just kind of kept me involved in different things that I enjoyed doing. And then went on to intern at Accenture in technology and work in tech as well, along with my personal projects. Also, I think there's some questions maybe in the chat. Sorry, I'm really bad at keeping up with that. Yes, data structures is so fun. Okay, high performance delivered. So that's the slogan for Accenture, which is where I work. And as I mentioned, I interned here before my final year in college in Atlanta, which is awesome, and back in the A. It's a little gloomy today, but it's all good. Love it when it's warm. Big JR Crickets fan, lemon pepper wings, love them. And when I interned, I had the opportunity to work on a project for a communications client, and we helped them create a better service tool for employees that work directly with customers. I learned how to write user stories, which would say, as a technical agent, I want to be able to do X, Y, Z. and I also interacted directly with our clients. So I was already learning, okay, like this is how the business world works, how people talk to each other in the business world, you know, how you as a consultant can talk to your clients and give them updates and things like that, which I continue learning about every single day. And I've just celebrated 2 years, which is awesome. My roommate started at the same time as well. So we just both feel really lucky and happy to be here. But what I realized in my internship was that there's so much value in being a person or the person that the client can come to give those technical requirements for a project. And then you be able to tell the development team like, hey, this is what the client wants to see. And I really love being that kind of middleman of, okay, I know exactly how we want to visualize a certain system or how we want to phrase something. And I can break down those requirements to be really finite and minute and pass that to the dev team. So that's kind of what I do now. My client is based in Europe, and then we have people working in India and other countries. So a really awesome global team, and it's so fun. Sometimes I've had some calls at 4:30 in the morning, but I'm jumping up, grabbing some coffee, joining those calls. But yeah, being the person that can map out what a system should look like and also work with the client, figure out exactly what they want, be able to explain to them how a system works and be able to break that down to then collaborate with our amazing development team who's really honed into our system is my favorite part of the job. And yeah, it's just every single day I learn something new, and just thankful to have a really great opportunity to build technology and learn technology every single day. Which brings me to my new startup. So as I mentioned, I've always loved business. I'm really passionate about building things that make things better, make things easier. So like with my food delivery platform, I built that because Sewanee is on a mountain and we did not have Uber Eats. We had nothing. The closest Chick-fil-A was 45 minutes away. So we would do that drive on Saturdays. And I realized that there was an opportunity for mainly students that didn't have cars. I didn't have a car yet on campus. And so I built that to help students get food at any time of the day. And I built Hama because as an athlete, I'm out in the sun all the time and had developed some dark spots on my skin. But when I would go to try to find products to help with that, I could not identify what I needed. There were 100 products, all promising the same thing, and I just didn't know where to start. So my goal for Hama is to take the guesswork out of buying products by making it really easy to figure out which products work best for you instead. I had the opportunity to hire a developer, which is like mind blowing. Like I was able to hire someone to work with. And what working full time and Hama being kind of my side thing right now, I worked with a developer because I knew that I wanted someone who was able to really build this super robust thing. And it was just too much for one person. So working with someone else and being able to use my delegation skills was an awesome thing to do. So I was able to also work on the front end part of the site because I knew he had tons of experience with, over 500,000 data points that we had. And so I was able to work on the portion that maybe wasn't his expertise, which was the front end, but I can also do the back end. So, multifaceted full stack developer over here. And it felt really full circle for me. I was able to apply what I had learned in school, what I loved about being on Neopets and on MySpace and all these things to solve a problem and build something for myself. So just a little overview of how Hama works, but you take a skincare quiz. So you say your age, your skin type, your skin tone, and then what you need help with. So hyperpigmentation, hydration, redness, even put ashy elbows in there because my elbows get ashy all the time. But yeah, I'm helping people discover and find products that help with anything and everything. And then you're recommended the best products for your skin type. So it's really, we're using data science, natural language processing to hone in on, okay, this is the person's age, this is their skin type, this is their skin tone. What other people with that demographic information have found products that they recommend. So, with my skin tone, being 23, almost 24, looking for products for X, these are products that other people like me would recommend for me to try. And it's just been awesome. We've had over 10,000, almost over 10,000 skincare quiz takes, over 8,000 unique visitors on the site, and officially onboarding our first direct brand partnership that's paid. And then through some press that I've received, also receiving inquiries from other brands that want to be in the database. So just being able to build something really robust that's not only going to help people, but is exercising my passion for technology and for business. I learned something new about the business part every day, registering a company, trademarks, finding lawyers, telling my lawyer, Google said XYZ, is that true? And I'm sure he's like, well, my degree came from a really good law school, not Google, so let me break it down further for you. But I'm just really lucky to have a great support system, and now I have an intern, so there's 2 of us kind of managing the day-to-day for Hama, which makes it a lot easier because, again, working full-time. And yeah, just to show you guys some of the press that we've had. So this came out 2 days ago, and it said, this 23-year-old wants to revolutionize how you shop for skincare, and it's working. And there's my face, that's me. And then I was also in Women's Wear Daily, and I was in InStyle magazine. So it's just been crazy being in magazines that I read and really love, and interviewed by people that are so ingrained in these industries. And yeah, it's an amazing experience. Running a business is definitely tough. I learn new things every single day, and I learn how to be better at all the things I do, but just excited to now be using what I learned in school and what I learned outside of school to build something for myself. So that is me. Thank you all so much. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, happy to answer them. Let me check the chat real quick.
Yeah, we've definitely had people asking questions in the chat.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, let me see.
One of the interesting ones was, how does Hama Beauty work for guys?
Yeah, so it works for everyone, standardized. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have a question of like, what is your gender identity, is because these products are actually gender neutral. Unless otherwise, stated, these products work for anyone and everyone that wants to use them. And we're actively working right now with kind of a male influencer who's going to do some skincare product reviews for us, just to show that the products that we recommend can work for anyone. And I really want that. One of the big things that I built Hama for is, as a woman of color, like I've been in situations where I'm racially profiled or just completely ignored in stores, and it sucks that happens. I wish it never happened, and I want my platform to be somewhere that anyone can go and feel just completely free to purchase whatever they need, regardless of their gender identity, their age, their price point. Like I just want it to be the best place to go to shop.
Absolutely. And another question from Ayana is, how long did it take to create and get your business up and out there for everyone to see and shop? And how did you get your products tested in the very beginning?
Yeah, so to answer that question, and then Imani's question, so we don't actually stock products ourselves. Our product is the kind of algorithm, and I was able to patent that, and I can talk about that. I can talk about that a little bit as well, but you're buying your products directly from Sephora, from Ulta, and the retailers and brands themselves. And so they're able to give you further details into all the different products. But in the quiz, you can put, I have sensitive skin, or, I have dry skin, those kinds of things. And we're always evolving and always learning how to make the platform better. So in narrowing down the products, when you shop them directly from the retailer, they can also give you additional information, but you can put those requirements into the quiz too. And to talk a little bit more about my algorithm, then I'll answer this. So the algorithm is what's taking in all this user input and then giving recommendations to users. And I went ahead and got a patent for it because I just felt like it was something special that I created, and I wanted to protect myself. And also, if I decide to evolve into the future and do something different, I still want to be able to maintain that I created that specific process for something. So as you build and work on different things, you can always protect your ideas. And I talked to a ton of other people and said, how did you protect your idea? Like, I am working on something. I was sending out my demo, like I coded up a demo left and right. And one of my mentors, she was like, no, delete it. Like, get that off Dropbox. You don't have your patent yet. You don't know who might take your idea and run with it. So that kind of shook me up a little bit. But I think that was just her way of saying, like, always, appreciate your idea and protect yourself and take care of your idea. How do I stay focused on my dream? Did you have times of doubt like this won't work? I'm sure my family and friends that are on can attest that, sometimes, and pretty often, especially when you have your own thing, doubt creeps into your mind. What I've learned is I just work through the fear, right? So if I have an email or an interview, like my interviews, I'm always so nervous for that because, I'm like, okay, what if I talk too much or say the wrong thing? But as long as you believe in yourself and in your idea, which you should, because what you're thinking about is valid. If you have a problem you want to solve, I'm sure there are other people out there that want to solve the same problem. So just work through the fear, believe in yourself, stay focused. And doubt is natural. You know, if you're not scared, I almost think if I'm not scared or like a little nervous or anxious about what I'm doing, then maybe I'm not as passionate about it. But just again, knowing that your idea is valid and you're going to crush it no matter what you do. So just work through it. What age did I start? I started Hama last November. So I was 23. So yeah, but I've been thinking about it for a while. So how did I make all of my logos? I worked with a freelancer for the logo with the sun, but any product photos that we use like on Instagram and different things on our website, I make myself. How long did it take? So we launched in May, so it took about 6 months to make, and the business portion, like getting registered and all of that, took, I would say like 3-ish months. Yes, so Zakia, that's a great question. So what I'm actually working on, I received my first investor through different legal stuff, but I received my first investor. And so what I'm working on now is actually using AI to like figure out what your skin tone is by kind of using a bunch of different metrics and things like that, but just making it easier to identify skin tone, because like you, I just kind of, I'm saying, okay, I think this is the most likely to be my skin tone based on, you know, what the tone of the majority of my face is. But being able to use technology to help us, especially women of color that deal with hyperpigmentation, use that AI to further pinpoint what our skin tone can be. And then that will really help with the products themselves. So hopefully 2021, that will be live and you guys can help me test it out. For the platform, no, it does not matter what your age is. It does not matter. How do you start your own business? I would say sit down and just type out in Word, in a document, all of the goals that you have, what you want your business to look like, what you want it to be like. And then what I did was I made a Google Doc, or Google form, and I asked different questions. So, you know, to people like, what do you have issues with when you shop? What do you want to, how can we make it easier? Where do you shop? Just so I could make sure this problem that I wanted to solve is actually an existing problem in the world. And when you're armed with that feedback, then you can say, okay, like, this is a great idea. I'm going to go for it because other people need help with it. Do I ever feel like you had too many ideas at once? Oh, yes, all the time. Every single day of my life, ideas are running through my head 24/7. I'm like watching TikTok, but in the back of my head, I'm like, I need to start this business. One of my friends said to me once, or like, one business at a time. You can only do one business at a time. You can't do 20. So yeah, I think I just kind of go with the one I think I can solve the most right away, or maybe the oldest one. And then if that doesn't necessarily work out, there's always more businesses and more ideas to try. And that's the beauty of technology. My platform is all online and based in the cloud somewhere that I can't touch, but that code is malleable and I can apply that code to different things, and it's my code. I own all of it. I own my algorithm. And if I decide to do hair care or focus on matching with clothes, like I can pivot to that anytime. But definitely trying to see this one through. How did I get the motivation to start my business? So that's kind of long-winded answer, but my mom kind of just said, like, you need to go for it. She's like, you can't just sit on this idea. We've been talking about this forever. And it's always kind of the push from the mom that's like the final one. And my dad as well, my sister just said, you have this great idea. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You try and you learn and become a better businesswoman and, you know, just get to learn something new. And have I considered using this for people with food allergies? I have not, but that's a great idea. We have to take that offline. We can talk about that. My business has drawing, jewelry, and necessities. How do I price them properly? I think what you can do is look at other people or other businesses that are kind of similar to yours and then say, like, how are they pricing it? What are similarities and differences between what, you know, you're selling and what they have? And then that will help you like understand kind of how you want to price. And social media too, like definitely use Instagram and Pinterest and Twitter to advertise your business, because when things go viral on those platforms, it just like blows up. So yeah, there's definitely opportunity there. You know, that's a good question. I'm gonna ask to see the drawing, but I can't draw. So for me, I feel like we'll pay anything. But yeah, no, definitely check out, you know, what other artists are doing on Twitter, especially. People go viral all the time for like their drawings and their paintings. So you never know whose eye you'll catch, and that will definitely help you understand how to price it.
I have a question that's in a slightly different direction. You mentioned that your current team at Accenture, you work with people in Europe, or your client is in Europe and some of your team is in India. Have you gotten a chance to travel for work?
So I've gotten to go to Boston and some other places in the US, but we were supposed to go to Paris when all the pandemic stuff started happening. So sadly did not get to go. And our go live is coming up. Would have loved to be in Paris for that as well. But yeah, fingers crossed, starting in March, we'll get to start traveling again and I'll get to go. Any other questions?
Awesome. I think, we do have one more question. How did you build your team for your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So like I said, when I started, I hired just a developer to help me with the coding portion. But what I realized pretty fast was it was really hard to manage both working and then trying to do Hama stuff or only focusing on it after work. And the best advice that I received was to get an intern, because that would be someone who wants experience within the realm I'm working in and needs the experience. And I just interviewed, just talked to different people about what their goals were, how Hama could help them. She was someone working towards a business and marketing degree. So that's basically what she handles, is the business process and marketing, social media stuff for Hama, takes that off my plate. But yeah, just talking to different people and realizing that it's okay to not be able to, or not necessarily want to just do everything yourself, because that's not how a lot of businesses work. It's okay to get help, and in turn, you might be helping someone else as well. How do I find the right clients? So I think I'll take this in the context of how I identify brands to work with, but really I email any brand, like, I have my pitch, I have my deck with all my statistics saying, this is the platform I own. We have, 9,000 page views this month. I'd love to have you consider being advertised on our platform. And now with press as well, getting out there in the magazines, that helps a brand see my message, see my platform, especially from the lens of someone working in the beauty industry, and then they reach out to me as well. So, but definitely social media. I think social media has helped so much because it gets you out there in front of so many people. We're almost at 2,000 followers, and working with different influencers and different people to get the message out, and then doing advertising as well to help get the message out about Hama. Ooh, an art gallery. That's awesome. I'm not super familiar with the art scene. I wish I had more tips, but I think, definitely if you post your stuff on social media, tag those galleries that you're working with so they can see your art. You never know if they'll feature you and say, hey, like, we have this person coming and she's going to be showcasing her art. I've definitely seen that happen a lot too, with people that are selling different things at craft shows, art shows, things like that. Getting yourself out there, especially right now when people are at home. Being able to connect with those galleries through social media is going to be a really big way to get their eye and get more exposure. Any other questions about technology? Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tari. As you can know from all the questions that we got, you were an amazing speaker. The girls, I guess, showed a lot of interest in everything that you were sharing, and we really appreciate you for sharing with us today about your career journey, your college journey, your journey taking you to Accenture, and then ultimately how you started your business. So we really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this was awesome. And hopefully I get to come to an event and see you guys live and in person, but stay safe and keep working hard. We all belong in technology. We all bring so much to the table, and I can't wait to see what y'all do next.
Absolutely. So we're going to wrap up for today. Thank you again for coming. This is, next steps for anyone who is joining us today. I know we had some comments in the chat about, how can you join the after school program, or how can you share with your school and other students. So we have a program that we just kicked off this past Tuesday, occurring right now. But if you're interested in joining our next cohort, you can visit gethype.org/get involved and just submit an interest form, and we will get back in touch with you once the application's open for our next cohort. So here are some of the logistics for the next program. We'll be meeting on Mondays and Wednesdays from 4 to 5:30. So an hour and a half. It will be a virtual session. And the next program is going to kick off on October 13th. It'll be 6 weeks long, so it'll last right up until the week before Thanksgiving. So if you're interested and you're not a part of our current cohort, make sure you visit our website. You can also send us an email at info@gethype.org. You can also follow us on Instagram at gethype_Inc. And that's just the best way to kind of stay in the loop and be informed for when the applications will open for the next Hype project that will be starting on October 13th. And then the last thing for everyone who is here, whether you are, here live in the Zoom or if you're watching us over Facebook, we would love to get your feedback and we would love to learn more about what things that you're interested in hearing about, what was exciting for you about this experience, as well as ways that we can improve. And so if you can leave us feedback at this link here, it's bit.ly/hypewit. The hype wit does need to be in capital letters. The link is case sensitive. So if you register for this event, you will be getting an email with this link that you can go to send us your feedback. If you didn't register and you're watching us over Facebook, you can still go and complete a feedback form, again, at this link, bit.ly/hypewit. And that is all. So thank you everyone for coming. I do see a lot of other comments in the chat. Happy birthday, Amani. I'll give you a shout out since tomorrow is your birthday. Lots of thanks to Tari. And we hope to see you guys next week. We'll be hosting another She Is Me session. And next week will be an entire panel. So we're going to have 4 or maybe 5 women on the panel, all talking about their career journeys, providing you guys wonderful advice, and just going through a Q&A session that we'll be leading. So you can go to our Eventbrite to register for next week's session, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.